cake.
Thank you all so much for coming to our opening night of Cypher Playground. So Cypher Playground is Christine Flores, Sarah Tamalo, and myself, Emily Law, and Del James, and Ice Misto.
It's wonderful to see everyone's faces. I know it's a night of reunions, of meeting new connections, and just celebrating club culture. That's what we're doing this whole week through Cypher Playground. We just wanted to, kind of honor those sanctuaries, where generations just found their voice, their heart, their soul, their groove, and bring everyone together, all eras, all generations, and kind of talk about it, dance around, and have a good time. So, thanks. Before we begin, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the land that we are on today is the traditional territories of the Haudenosaunee, the Anishinaabe, the Mississaugas of the Credit, and the Wendat peoples, and is covered by Treaty 13. This land has been the site of human activity that is life and dance for thousands of years. We know the power dance has to transcend cultural lines, status, and generations. So whether First Nations, Inuit, Métis, settlers, immigrants, migrants, refugees, newcomers, the urge to dance is universal. However, throughout Canada's history, Indigenous peoples have experienced restrictions on cultural expression, ceremonies, and traditions, including dance, which were banned. May we as dancers, music lovers, and club heads reflect on the ways this dance and music culture that we love remains a way to restore and sustain cultural identity, presence, and resilience for all.
We're super excited to have this wonderful panel that we'll pass it on to, and then two very exciting premieres of some films that we commissioned. So we'll pass it on to Sasha, our wonderful moderator for the panel.
Hello, everyone. How are we feeling? Oh, that's nice. I like the energy in this room already. I'm really happy and honored and excited to be here. One, because I've always been a club kid, and dance and music is definitely my life. But to be here with people who I have danced to their music, I have been at the clubs when they have been putting on the parties, and I feel like a sense of honor to be able to ask the questions and get more knowledge and information and learn about the experiences of these amazing, amazing panelists. So I feel really good about being here. And I'm gonna introduce our panelists. To my left, we have DJ Mensa, Red Bull. Yes. And the thing about it is, I want everyone to know, who's familiar with DJ Mensa? Who's familiar with Red Bull Academy? Because DJ Mensa is a Red Bull 3-style champion, so we need to give it up for that. And we're gonna go to the life of the party, DJ, promoter of DJs and promoter of parties, Edison Taboo. Big ups. And a staple within the underground house music scene, as well as I would say, probably a pioneer for the extremely important queer parties that happened in our city. We have Kiki LaFreak. And last but not least, from the bars to the clubs to the garden patios to a lot of places that I have been, a DJ with so much soul, Dirty Dale. And not just a DJ, a dancer as well. A beautiful dancer. Yeah. So welcome everybody. I'm going to start off with one question here. I'm going to ask you to highlight, each of you, so we'll go with DJ Mensa first. If you could highlight what you're known for in Toronto's club scene, and also, it's twofold, so I feel like maybe I should let you answer that one first. Let's go with that. What are you known for in the club scene?
This is a groupthink question. Guys, what am I known for, man? What am I supposed to answer speaking about myself? I don't know, man. I came up as a hip hop and R&B DJ like 20 years ago, and it just kind of blossomed into doing both facets of like either doing clubs or like more underground stuff. And I've really like kind of really focused on towing the line between those two in terms of covering as much ground as possible. Like I'll call myself an open format DJ through and through because I really am just a lover of music. It's all rooted in a really deep love of music and being able to communicate that love with other people and that love like via music and stuff. So I think that's my approach to how I do things. So I'd like to think that's how I'm known, what I'm known for.
Beautiful. I have another question for you. It's twofold. I would love for you to talk to us about the music that inspired you, or maybe even a moment that inspired you to do what it is that you're known for.
That's a good question. Okay, so, you know, I came up in like the boom bap hip hop era, right? So underground hip hop, listening to community radio, CKLN, CIUT, CHRY, right? So those that I as a 90s kid, as an early 2000s hip hop kid, I could live in that space for as long as I wanted to, right? But I'll give credit to my older brother. He's 7 years older than me. He put me on to Chicago house. He put me on to disco. He put me on to drum and bass. He put me on to jazz. So, you know, as a kid, I was making like little notes of like, oh, I should pay attention to these types of artists whilst I was still in the hip hop space. And then when I got the means to acquire music, like I was still on records, and I would be buying house and disco and that kind of stuff, that essentially turned me into an eclectic open format DJ, right? So from there, you know, being able to kind of connect those dots in terms of starting at a hip hop tempo and then moving more towards something more up tempo, you know, that kind of a thing. Throughout the years, I kind of built my repertoire, my playlist, so that kind of takes you on a journey whenever I DJ and stuff. So I never really like to touch on any or stay at one particular tempo when I DJ. It's always trying to give you like the kind of vast cornucopia spectrum, thesaurus, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, that's kind of my approach to things.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Sorry, housekeeping. The mic needs batteries. Can someone out there?
You can use mine. So, you know, did I go off? Can everyone hear me? Did I go off?
1, 2.
Okay. We're good. So Edson, this is a question for you as well. I'd like to know, and I'm sure everyone else here would like to know, what you're known for. They might know, but I want you to tell us what you're known for.
Well, I've hosted events in the city for over 20 years, so I like to think that I'm known as sort of the MC that, you know, first and foremost, because that's where I started out MCing. Well, I started in Michigan DJing parties, but out here, I got my start on the radio with Dustin on Project Bounce, and then a whole host of other events, you know, the Grouches of the world, DJ Ritz's, on and on. So I kind of cut my teeth in radio there, but I really feel like, in terms of this context, I feel like, you know, maybe I would be the MC that brings sort of like an intangible vibe to what's happening. You know, I'm more of a party person on the mic. I'm not trying to be heard over the music, you know, that kind of a thing. I'd rather be blending in and just be a part of the vibe. So that's kind of how I think maybe I was viewed as an MC. And I think that as a promoter, I feel like I'm gonna put the humbleness away for a second and say that I think that over the last 20 years, I've thrown most of the parties in the city that the best DJs in the city want to play.
That's all. I like that. I like that a lot. This mic is like off and on. It says, good night. Hello.
1, 2.
Good night. Switch. Thank you. I love that, Taboo. I love that. I would also want to ask you too, what was a moment in your life that really inspired you to do what it is that you do?
A single moment, I mean, I guess I'm a child of the 80s, so, you know, not exact, I mean, there's kind of a series of moments, you know, so, I don't know, I would say Michael Jackson, American Music Awards, seeing Kid Capri for the first time live, King's Tower, Caravan Weekend, let's see, pandemic. Well, and that's kind of a weird one because, you know, it happened so far into my time as promoter, but in actuality, I was kind of on the verge of sort of hanging it up, maybe just doing a little bit here or there. You know, certainly wasn't like doubling down and going 10 toes down in the business. That wasn't really my idea at the time, but it seemed like we all kind of needed it, and so, you know, since then, you know, I've kind of been going full bore at it. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love that. Kiki, this for you?
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. And how are you?
I'm really good, thanks.
I want to ask, we could do this all day, but we're
We
not going to
could
do
just hang
that.
out all day and just chit chat. That's a good song, actually.
Yeah, it is a good song.
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh shit.
All right, let me get back to the business.
Ugh.
I want to know, for you, what are you known for? I mean, you kind of touched a little bit on that in your introduction, but you tell us. in your words.
I think I'm known for, at the moment, like right now, funky shit, house, disco, really good parties, bringing in amazing DJs, throwing underground, real parties that everybody has fun at and loses themselves and transcends. I think that's really what I'm doing right now. And I think it was always my dream. Like, I consider myself and a lot of us to be David Mancuso's babies, you know? You know, a little bit of, like, Frankie, Larry, Ron Hardy for sure. It's a little rave scene for, you know, the Acid House, another 90s baby. But yeah, I think that's what I'm known for.
Amazing. One of our mics is really hot. I'm not sure who it is.
This one.
Okay.
How about if I go here? Can I still hear me?
Sound technician. So, and I love all of what you mentioned there because, you know, oh, it's mine too.
Shit.
Oh. Just playing.
I'm just gonna play it. Oh, you gotta turn it on still.
It's like, hello?
You wanna have you?
Yeah. As long as you can hear me, we're good. I'm loud anyway, so I probably don't even need a mic. So, you know? Yeah.
And I was 10 years old, and there were no tenure, you know, there was no kids there, right? Anyways, that definitely influenced and changed my life. I like literally danced in those circles. And I was told by my sister's friend to not dance by moving my feet so much, because they were way older than me, and she was doing that 80s, you know, dance. Anyways, that was like the beginning of it, and then cut to like the rave scene, 1995. '96. DJ Sneak has a song, Loose Joints, is it all over my face. And Little T from Vancouver came up with a mixtape and it had all the post-disco hits. And that's what changed my life, was realizing that the stuff I was listening to was samples, and I got really into Roy Ayers, Larry Levan, and all that stuff, and just kept on going further back, finding my roots.
Wow. Yeah, I love what you said there, because it's really important to know the roots of what it is that you're doing, right?
It is.
And it does create a really good foundation for a phenomenal DJ.
It's
Yeah.
true. Yeah, history, knowledge, and it can show you where things are going into. And you can find your niche that you like and love. And sometimes it takes a while, like as a DJ, to find that, you know? Or really to admit to yourself, this is what I like. Yeah. Yeah. I feel authentic at this point. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Thanks.
And thank you for that. Dale. Dirty. Can you tell us what it is you're known for in this Toronto clubbing scene?
Hello, okay. Fast beat, hips don't lie. Big ass smile, teeth can't stay beneath the lips. Ultra hyper personality, and just energy. I love like positive, good, pushing music with energy.
Agree. I can attest to that. I think a lot of us can. So, what are some moments for you that brought you to what it is that you do?
Oh, I think I was very lucky to be born in a time where just music, like I started with hip hop, I guess, and like breaking, and I was like one of those like 3-year-old kids doing head spins and worms and back spins. I don't know, I guess it was Mr. T Be Somebody, if you were back in the 80s you would know this, and Breaking, the movie. So those things, I guess I found out later, because I'm adopted, I know that's a little deep, but I found out later my mom was a gymnastics person, so I feel like genes do get passed down from generation to generation. I mean, I see it right here with Flex, you know, and his daughter, they're both breakers, so I think it just sometimes happens, and I was very lucky to get the chance to dance as much as I got to when I was young, and be in school where there was other people who were dancing, and I felt like school dances were like the lead up to battles at the school dance, so we would practice all the time to go battle someone, and then music obviously is the big proponent that pushes you to dance, and I was very lucky to be exposed to all that, and just like always want to move, and then movement became something that led me into DJing later on. Going out to warehouse parties when I was only 16 years old and not allowed out of the house properly. So I would say I'd sleep over at a friend's house, but then come home the next day and be like, I'm so tired, we played video games all night. But really I was at a warehouse party till 6 a.m. in the morning. Shouldn't have been there, but I needed the music. And at 14 years old, I discovered house music by accident. I was at a party that was all hip hop. And then at the end of the night, people kind of cleared out and the DJ played house. And I went, what is this? And I was listening and I was like, oh, whoa, this is crazy. Sorry, I think it's quick. And then I walked in a snowstorm to see a friend who had a mixtape. I know, and then I got a house music mixtape and I was like obsessed. And from that point on, it carried me into like, basically, I was 21 years old and I became a house DJ and just bought records from Play to Record and Tracks.
Wow, very, very interesting. What a beautiful journey.
I feel like all dancers, if you're here, be a DJ. We need you. We need you. You guys get it. You understand what makes the body move? Let the other people understand.
I hear you. I really hear that. I think it's interesting to hear each individual speak of what influenced them to do what you do, because you all have such unique stories. Like just listening to that alone, I've learned even more about where you're coming from. I'd like to ask speaking of clubs and club scene, DJ Mensa, what would you say is a foundational club or venue in the city? What was a foundational one that you know of, if it's still around or if it was in the past? What was that?
I think one of the obvious answers is probably government. And it's obvious for all the best reasons, because it's just like, you know, they put up the money to bring in like worldwide talent and that kind of a thing. But they also had a lot of resident nights where like a lot of literally some of the best DJs in Toronto were like the residents there. Like, you know, credit was a Trotsky Booth, who just kind of knows who to curate in terms of, yeah, let's get the best of the best in the city, and then you can also open up for, you know, international talent, that kind of a thing. I mean, other than that, Dale, Kiki, Taboo, like, we can go on and on. It's like what? Vespertine, we go Alto Basso, we go Andy Bullhall, NASA, we can go Gypsy Co-op, we can go Unamas, you know what I mean? We can go on and on. With regards to like, Roxy Blue? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's just like spots where, you know, stuff where like places that government wouldn't book these types of DJs. There was a whole spectrum of all of these venues that would book DJs and talent from all across genres, all across types of, you know, be it like rare brew stuff, be it disco stuff, be it underground hip hop stuff, and everything in between. And there were flavors for every person with different interests, that kind of thing. So it was a renaissance when we were going out, I guess, right? So it's kind of hard to pinpoint like a foundational, because all of us were going out 7 days a week. Like 20 years ago, like legit, like Dale can attest. It's like we were club sluts. Like, you know, we're out every day because that's where the music was, right? You couldn't, you know, I'm gonna get on my soapbox just a little bit, but like you couldn't just watch a DJ per se and watch people's reactions to it. You had to be in the element. You know what I'm saying? I know everyone here in the room knows exactly what it is to be in the element of experiencing music in the moment versus watching it on a monitor or on TV and stuff. So luckily back in those days we had thousands of outlets to go check that stuff out, right? So yeah, that's kind of my answer.
I want to see what you have to say about this, Taboo. Is there a club or a venue that you want to speak to, like why it was so foundational?
I will. I just actually, you know, this just kind of came to me, but for me personally, Roxy Blue you mentioned. I wasn't in the country. I lived in Michigan at the time that Roxy Blue was happening, so I felt like I was sort of on the outside looking in at a lot of the underground stuff that was happening. But at the same time, I was kind of entrenched in, you know, in and around the Michigan scene when I was out of college, when I would go into the city. That being said, you know, I did make it a couple of times to Roxy, but never really got the entire significance of it. But when I moved back, which was like essentially post-Roxy Blue era, one of the actual seminal places that was huge to me, well, two guys used to play here on the stage right here, used to play it regularly every week. This guy right here and that cat over there, especially for my friends groups and what ended up sort of generating the sort of core of my crowd and who I bring to the table and who I throw parties for was Octopus, Second Octopus. Yeah, with these guys. So, yeah, Wednesday nights, Thursday nights, and Saturday nights with Jason Palmer were like church for us. You know, and this was, you know, again, post-Roxy, you know, when the scene was sort of, you know, lost at sea a little bit, you know, there was no rudder. These guys helped to, you know, put it on track, so.
Hi.
I think there's a lot of foundational clubs, some I didn't get to go to that I wish I could, like Twilight Zone with the Paradise Garage sound system that Richard Wong did, and he'd bring in people to see the sound system, to sell the sound system over Paradise Garage. I think that's a big up, Esther Brothers, everybody, you know, that's a huge thing. And then 23 Hop and The Rise, those were very foundational places. And then when I was young in the rave scene, like I started raving in '94 when I was 14, but and start going full time until 95 because it was Gabber in 94, you know, and Happy Hardcore just wasn't, and Jungle wasn't my thing. But has started coming out large in 95. So I'd say during that time when you go to Nathan Phillips Square, you get picked up to go to raves. Some of these places we go to ended up being huge nightclubs in the end because of us going and frequenting, like Rebel House, Docks, whatever it's called now, Stan Academy. That was originally just a warehouse. And then Justin from Alien Influx threw an event with Transcendence in July 22nd of 95, and the rest is history. Same with Buzz nightclub, Comfort Zone. Comfort Zone, before Comfort Zone was Buzz, before Buzz, it was a strip club that was underneath the Waverly Hotel that kind of went out of business, and they threw like a 40-hour rave there, Alien and Transcendence together. In September, I think the 20-something of that same year, 95, and then Buzz nightclub opened up, and there was like, I think a stabbing on a Thursday, it shut down, and Comfort Zone came in, and the rest is history. It's not like I really want to go to Comfort Zone or those things, but I found those are, then there's Footwork, there's Sound System Soundbar, there's so many clubs, and they're just like, we had the most square footage of dance floors in the whole entire world at one point. And like, we gave a lot of DJs their starts here, like DJ Heather would be, like, get booked. I've seen Stacy Pullen, DJ Heather, Theo Parrish, Terrence Parker, you name it, like everybody would roll through here all the time. Honey Dijon credits Toronto to like getting her start and all that stuff. We're just a really great city, and I think it's like Bamboo Nightclub. Yeah, there's just so much. Living Room, Limelight. We were spoiled, and dancing was like everything. Like before I DJ'd, it was dancing. It always was, always will be. Electric Circus, big up.
Beautiful. Wow. You named a lot just now. Wow.
Yeah. I was a bad little kid. There's a party center. Oh, Club Generations, Isabella and Young, Mark Oliver, Destiny Fridays. Big up. Anyways, I could go on and on and on.
No, it's great. I'm learning, and I'm sure all of us here too are learning more reminiscing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were really lucky, spoiled.
Spoiled for choice.
Spoiled.
Not so much now.
But we're keeping it going. We
Yes.
still have that vibe. Toronto's got like the sickest, illest vibe. It's hard to get away from here with all our diversity. From like, the UK influences, from
Yes.
island influences, from just the French. Like we have so much Quebec, Italo disco, like all that stuff that we've made that have come out of Canada. And our rave scene, house music scene that was in Toronto, and our hip hop scene that's been foundational, and our reggae scene. Like we're blessed. Other places are really stuck in their regions, and I find like we can, like, open format DJs, that's like a Toronto, that's easy for Toronto people, I think. You know? Not to like, but you know, it's like, we're good at that.
I see.
Yeah.
I hear you. I'm listening.
I love you.
I was thinking about all this because everyone got to answer so you get more time. I think for me, it started with the lore. It was kind of like I heard about where everybody was going, like Oz and like 23 Hop and like all these places where I feel like there's even other DJs that could be on this panel that can educate us. Because I was very lucky during the pandemic to have a 2-hour conversation with Tyrone Solomon, who is one of the legends of Toronto's house music scene, still playing today, still doing parties. But him, Peter, Tyrone, and Shams, they were doing like a lot of parties, and then to learn that Dino and Terry were like the first guys to kind of do some of the warehouse parties back in the day, like in the like 89 era, and then like Aki and all these guys like that were doing all these amazing warehouse parties that we were in diapers, we could not go to, or at least in high school. And you know, you're coming up and I'm listening to the radio stations and I'm too young to go to these parties, but they're giving out hotlines that you can phone call and find out the address that you can go to, only to show up and have the address be switched on you and say, this is actually not the party. You gotta go down the street, around the corner, because nobody wanted to be caught for the things we were doing. Because we all just wanted to party a little bit later, a little bit into the morning, and listen to the greatest dance records that were coming out in those times. And so for that, the lure brought me into wanting to go to the clubs and wanting to be out. And I went to some great all ages clubs, but unfortunately, there's a lot of Euro music and dance music that I still kind of like some of them, I'm not gonna lie, but it wasn't me. And then listening to more of like a soul-driven music that was like on the radio and stuff kind of made sense to the dancer in me. It was like, I don't dance with my upper body, I dance with my lower body. And that's where the soul resides, is down here. And so it was like, I can't move my feet going, right? I needed stuff that gave me like congas and bass lines and like different things. So my body was like, you're short, man, you're in the bass section of music. You're not up here in the tall section, so this is where you belong. And then growing up with a great, strong, Latin and Black community in my neighborhood, I went to their house parties. All their music sounded similar to me, so it was like, this is what I resonate with. This is what I grew up with. This is my heart. This is like how I feel. And I was lucky enough to make a choice that I'm gonna go with what I feel versus what I think I should go do, right? So I always followed my heart, my soul, and I'm grateful for that. And then as for clubs, as the question, sorry guys, I went off on a little tangent, but as for the question of places I started going to, Fat Black Pussycat was like one of my first after hours, and Polson, with KJ, Joe, Trini, all those guys, and they were playing some stuff, KJ, Kevin Johnson, don't want to leave them out. And these are guys, I said Joe and Trini? Yeah. Anyways, these are great DJs that were playing like amazing soulful underground house music that made me understand like, we were going to, Fat Black Pussycat had a reggae sound system that was playing house. So it wasn't like today's digital sound systems, it was stuff that you felt in your chest and you vibrated when you heard music. It was weird. It was something that I wish we could still overly experience. Anyways, I know I'm going too long. But yeah, so those clubs got me into it, and then I was at Roxy Blue, which we spoke of one night, and I'm standing there, and I feel like the era that I had been so inspired by was getting a little bit disinterested in the way that they weren't pushing me as a dancer to want to go. And so in my heart, I was like, guys, just play that song that, gives it. Right? And then I said, you know what, I'm gonna go to the record store and buy these records. I'm gonna get the ones that I feel like do that, and that pushes me. And then that inspired me to go spend all my paychecks week after week. I kind of paid rent, and then kind of ate, but bought a lot of music. Yeah. And then, you develop a DJ career by people trusting you. I was very lucky as a dancer to get the attention I got, and they were giving me the opportunity maybe a little earlier than I deserved, but I recognized that. And I paid respect to everyone that was around me. I said, I'm just lucky. I'm grateful for the opportunities they gave me, and then it just kind of grew, but it wasn't until Octopus Lounge, like you guys said, my friend right here also took the reins of Octopus Lounge, Menza. I had done a year and a half there, but in that year and a half, I was able to gain our followings, and then I left. He took over on a hip-hop night, but then gained another following after that, and I'm really grateful for that place because it was also a Black-owned business, which was thriving at that time. It was a beautiful place where you can come listen to really good music, and we got to gain a lot of our followers and a lot of our friends, a lot of our experiences from that. I'll keep it at that because I can go forever.
That was great. Yeah, it was really great.
If I could just send a middle finger out to the condo that was across the street that was complaining and sending sound complaints, as is the usual nowadays. But don't cry that it's over. Smile that it happened. So. Yeah, shout out to the Lounge.
Yeah. A special time for sure. You all kind of touched on this a little bit, but now I really want to ask the question: what is the Toronto style? What is the Toronto style? And Cider Playground is, asking the question, what would you say about it? If you were to describe it to someone that's looking for it, what is that? What is that style? And this is a great question because I think there's so much. Yeah, you know what? Maybe I'll switch it up. I'm gonna start with you, Taboo. What would you say about that?
Toronto style. You know, like, first of all, if we're talking about DJs, I think that the style of play is everywhere. It's reflective of what the city looks like, what the city sounds like, and what the city moves like, you know? I always, even, like, it's crazy because one of the aspects, you know, when we were growing up, we always felt an inferiority complex as hip hop heads, right? Our beats didn't sound as good. Our rappers, you know, spoke with an accent that we weren't even used to hearing on records, you know? All the sort of different elements, you know, the pillars, if you will, of all of them. I mean, the one I feel like where I would always look at and be like, you know what? The dancers for like, you know, MC Lights dancers, leg 1 and leg 2, two of my favorites as I was growing up. You know, you always kind of key, you know, on whatever choreography you see, and I always thought to myself, I'm like, well, you know, I'd look at Mikey and Larry who danced with Top Secret, or Act 1 and Act 2 who were Maestro dancers. I always look at those guys, I'd be like, these guys have an extra little funk, you know what I mean? Like, we're doing the same moves maybe, but there's sort of a dirtiness to it, you know? And so even like our smoothest DJs, you know, our creamiest, so like for instance, Dave Campbell, your brother, as a matter of fact, big up to Dave Campbell, Tyrone Solomon, who's mentioned earlier, there was still always an element of dirtiness to, you know, how we flip things, I thought. But, you know, I still maintain, we've always sort of maintained that Toronto has the best DJs, you know, in the world. And I think that that's because we, you know, we reflect first of all, I mean, the West Indies, you know, the core of sound system culture, you know, I think that of all countries, I think we've sort of, in our communities here, preserved the authenticity of culture, of different culture the best. And so I think that it kind of shines through just in terms of, again, the diversity and the way that our style is sort of manifested. So I don't know, and I'm going on, you go.
No, you're not going on. You're answering this so well, and you know, making me think about this too, and what you touched on, because I was going to ask, like, what influences it? And you spoke about that, the West Indian culture, the sound system culture, and another place that reflects sound system culture is the UK because of the influx of West Indians that ended up there. So what you're saying, I think 100% makes sense. And yeah, I think that really speaks to what our style is. It's just a little bit different. The UK is a big influence, the West Indies is, but they go hand in hand.
Right, and in terms of dance, I mean, you know, most of you won't remember these days. We've talked about it, you know, we all sort of known about it, but, you know, there used to be, you know, house on one floor, hip hop on one floor, reggae on another floor.
Club Max.
Right? Exactly, Club Max is one of the main examples. And, you know, even if you know, even just by happenstance, if you're going to the washroom, you know, just, you know, as you pass by, you see something out of the corner of your eye. You don't know exactly why, or you don't even know that you maybe even take it with you know? And I think, you know, it's just, you know, there's some of that element as well.
That's a good point. That's a really good point.
I mean, much less if you're slammed on top of one another, you know, and you see each other every week, right?
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Yeah, that's great. Anybody else want to speak to that?
Yeah, I think. Shit, I forgot my train of thought. I think I'm a 6'2" Filipino dude, right? I am not. You wouldn't look at me and be like, that guy knows how to play reggae and soca, right? But this city kind of dictates that I kind of need to play. It's a prerequisite. If you're gonna be a hip hop DJ, if you're gonna be an open format DJ in this city, if you can't get away with a nice 20-minute dancehall set, or, you know what I mean, now a little bit of a soca set as well, you kind of can't really be a hip hop DJ as well, because they kind of go hand in hand. Like you said before the floors used to be separate, but then all the DJs on all the floors kind of used to communicate. What are the hits on every respective genre kind of a thing? That, down the road, kind of becomes an open format DJ because you kind of have the best of all the flavors kind of a thing, right?
100%.
So, you know, you talk about the inferiority complex, so, you know, but it's definitely, is very much that. It's just like, I think a lot of Toronto DJs, if you go to a spot where there's going to be an international DJ or an out-of-town DJ, try and go in with the sense of thinking that the Toronto DJ is really trying to outdo the out-of-towner. And you're gonna find that the Toronto DJ is actually murking the scene, murking the set before the headliner goes on. Is it selfish? No, it's like we're really just trying our best. I go in there as a servant of like the people. So if I'm going there, I'm gonna do my best to entertain the people as much before the next person. It's not like, yes, I'll set up the headline DJ, but at the same time, it's like, we still have to be ambassadors of our city. We still have to be ambassadors of music. We still have to show people our knowledge and our depth and our prowess. So, you know, I don't think I really go in with any type of reservations when it comes to a set. I don't want to steal a person's shine, but I'm always going to be the best version of myself when I go there. So that, I think, is the style in which Toronto DJs come through. And I'd like to think that a lot of us kind of can get booked out of town because of that type of thing, right? But yeah, I think Toronto is in the sweet spot in terms of being an international market where it kind of gets the flavors that you speak of, the European flavors, the West Indian flavors, the New York flavors, the Chicago, Detroit flavors, and all that stuff. And it all kind of becomes this nice mishmash in our hometown. So I think we all kind of benefit of it. From the music, from the selectors to the dancers, I think we all become kind of all the better for it. So.
You said it right at the end. So the fact that we're Toronto is kind of it's to our advantage. It's like we have New York, Chicago, and Detroit. Three of the places that create some of the craziest music, but because they all live in the States, they're fighting to be individualistic. Where we're in Canada, we're just like, I'll take a bit of you, I'll take a bit of you, take a bit of you, and I'll put it all in my set. You know what I mean? And I feel no ways about it. It's like, we're just gonna have that ability to, yeah, exactly, no beef. We're just like, we're gonna take this, and then when they come to our city, we show them the most love. We have like guys like Theo Parrish, Moody Band, and those guys that come from there. We have Glenn Underground, and some of those guys from Chicago. We got Louis and them from New York. You know, all these like great house DJs, and like, they come here and we put them on, we put them up. I don't think they've really put us back, but that's okay. Because I think we took a lot from them anyway, right? And it's like, it's just, I think it's an honor that we got to be Canadian. And then the best part is that we have so much good musical taste as Torontonians that when DJs came here and they didn't give us what we wanted or what we expected, because they took us for like the suburbans, like we're gonna go play on the outside of what we know and play it safe so that they can kind of like what we think they like, but all we wanted was their soul.
So true.
We wanted them to come here and give us what they have already created, but share it with us. And there was always a trouble in that. And like, for me as a DJ, being able to open for a lot of these people, I would be vocal and say, please give me you. Don't go on the decks and play what you think we want. Play what we know you have, you know, and express that to us. And that influence over the years, I think, has shaped a lot of our DJ sets, a lot of our taste, a lot of our record shopping. So yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, beautiful. So true. I felt every bit of that.
I don't know that any of that.
Yeah.
They said we're just spoiled.
Yeah.
Toronto's spoiled. Facts.
Yeah. Facts.
Like I know there's be parties that would happen if Toronto people weren't like dancing. You knew the DJ or the band or whoever was performing. Like it just didn't hit. It didn't work. We can be a tough crowd because we're really smart.
Yeah.
I think we're really smart. I
Yeah.
think we have great taste in music.
Yes.
Yeah, diverse, worldly. Yeah.
100%.
That's all. Y'all said it for me.
That leads me to another question, because Dale, you spoke about opening for some of these DJs, so I want to ask, and I'll just start with you, what's a highlight in your career? If there's one or two that you can share with us.
There's actually too many.
I
I've been
know.
very lucky. Mr. Fingers, Larry Heard, Charisma, Kerry Chandler, Osalade, Louis Vega, Kenny Dope. I've played for Dennis Ferreira, I've done everything I guess I've ever dreamed about. And even Cashmere from Chicago. I'm very fortunate to be in that position. I never took it for granted. I want to speak on this really quickly to all of you young people and some of you This is outside of this, but I want you guys from this day forward to be very grateful for every opportunity or any experience that you guys have. I have this thing that I call my little museum in my head, and I would come home from every gig, and I would take a picture of what that night looked like to me and put it on my wall. And that was like my thought process, because there were so many people around me when I was growing that were ungrateful and not grateful for the moments that they had. And I took the opportunity to say, no, I can't do that. I need to embrace every opportunity I get, put it on the wall so that when I'm later older and can't do it no more, I'm gonna look at all those pictures and be like, wow, that's the kind of life I experienced. That is so beautiful. So please do that with every experience you guys get, whether it's just an interaction with going on a lunch date with a friend, up into something else. Take the time to sit back, put that in your head, and be grateful for your people around you.
Yes. Yes.
That's it. I don't know what else he's asked me, so.
That was it. It was like you said all your highlights. Well, not all, but you said a lot of your highlights. So that's what I'm looking for. And you said a lot more too, and we appreciate all of that. All that you said. So, Kiki.
I love you, Dan. I think the last couple of years have been a massive highlight. It's just been really special, and I felt a lot of growth because I pretty much stopped DJing and throwing events, and it was 2015, and I got back in 2022. So around 2023, things started popping off, and it just seemed like I had all these moments that I was like it just felt like I kept on getting on to a higher mountain, and it was epic. And I'm still climbing these mountains. You know, it's never going to stop. And I felt just so much love and joy and respect and support for everyone in the city, and what I was doing and what I'm doing. It's been like a journey of love, and not being in a grumpy kind of place that you were saying. It's nice to be back and in this place. And I think the biggest highlights were Shango booking Gene Hunt, and not knowing that he was Ron Hardy's protege. That was like pretty freaking epic for me. And seeing Wajid's face at Shango and how happy he was, that was like the best shit ever. We were driving him to go get some food, or we're driving him to the condo he was staying at, then to this dinner place. He asked what time the set times were. I said, you can stop at 5:36. And I said, Dion Jamar played to 8 a.m. And he looked at me and goes, I'm not playing that late. Anyways, when I went over to give him a big hug in the middle of the DJ set, he was like, and then he stayed on till like 8 a.m. That was the best. And I think that's I love DJing, and I love all the glory, but watching somebody else just give it their all and feel so safe to be themselves and everybody having the best time of their life is the biggest blessing. Yeah, those are the highlights, are those moments.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. What do you have to say about this taboo?
Highlights. Well, I guess. Well, after my stepfather and father passed away, I kind of that kind of took me away from food parties a little bit, and yeah, it was difficult to kind of coming back from it. But after pandemic, like I said, I got back at it. And my mother was a huge reason also, like a YID party. So you know how it works when you're in the West Indies. You go to a high school, and then you move abroad, and you have like an old boys and old girls association, right? So my mother went to their technical high school.
Okay, yeah.
And she was, she's the original life of the party, as I like to say, right? And so, I grew up with my mother being an absolute party animal. You wake up or you go to sleep at, your mother's friend's house upstairs in one of her kids' rooms, at whatever, ungodly time, and you wake up in your own bed, you know what I mean, after the party is over. And when, parties would happen at my place, like my mother would just do, we had a 3-bedroom apartment at first, and she would jam, like 100 people in there with this crazy sound system that we had in our apartment. And then we moved to a house, and she continued to do it there, and, it would be full-on DJs. I believe it was Mello. You remember Mello? Oh yeah, so Mello, yeah, so Mello used to play a lot of my, rest in peace, a lot of my mother's parties, and he would come in, bring boxes, you know, like 3, 4, 18, stringing sound all day kind of a thing, you know? And that's where you sort of get a love for it. And so, to get back now to my highlight, you know, I had a lot of great successes sort of in the first 15 years of doing parties in the city. Took a little bit of a break, and then now since, you know, the last 4 years I've gotten back to it. 2 years ago, when we were at Smith House Laneway for my Chilling Grilling party, there was 1 week where my mom was actually able to come to the party. And so that was kind of a nice full circle moment, especially knowing, you know, she's able to talk shop and understand, you know, like actually, you know, what the party game is about. And so, you know, for her to be able to sort of see the fruition of that many years, yeah, it's probably.
Ooh, that's amazing. Ooh, that's amazing. You know what the gift is? I'm sorry for the loss that you've experienced. And what I really see, though, is the gift is you still have your mom, and that she gets to witness in real time, because you're being witnessed, trust me. Though you know they're watching, and they're seeing, and they're loving, and they're proud, but to have your mom literally be there, that's brilliant. That's beautiful. Wow. That would be a highlight for me. Wow. What about you, DJ Linsa?
What was the question?
Oh yeah, yeah. 'Cause where did we go? No, your career highlights.
Career highlights.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not an inferiority complex, but I'm always definitely just a student of the game per se. So whenever I walk in a room, be it like if I go to a party that I'm not playing at and I'm a spectator, I'm definitely listening, and I'm definitely like a student and that kind of thing. And it's kind of like the best authors read other authors, and I feel like the best DJs should listen to other DJs and that kind of thing, right? So if you see me in a party and I'm not DJing, then just know that I'm taking notes. Not in like in a hall monitor kind of a way, but just like I'm really just trying to pick up on things and, you know, trying to better myself as a DJ and stuff, right? But when, you know, I've been blessed enough to have the opportunity, like a long time ago, I opened up for Questlove, for Manifesto. Shout out Manifesto one time. They did that thing at Queen of Bathurst. Well, that's for the underground spot, the downstairs spot, next to Pizza Pizza, yeah, basement. And he did 3 hours of just all James Brown. I was like, this is insane, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, so they had me, I'm like, who am I? And Questlove is Questlove, right? So I'm just like, that kind of comes into my head, like all the 3-style stuff. You talk about like, you know, your mom's been to your parties. Like the last time I did 3-style, my parents came and witnessed me coming dead last, and I was like, whatever, man. They got the photo op. They're retired. It's fine. They weren't on some soccer dad shit. You should do better. They're there. They got drink tickets. It was great.
You also won it.
Yeah, but they weren't there those times, man. It's to the past. But no, again, I think when you get to a particular part of your career where you're just like, I just want to contribute the best way I can to, you know what I mean? Like more times when I DJ, it's just me, it's just me for 4 hours, right? But let's say I'm doing something like Chilling and Grilling. But that's it, I'm usually part of the lineup, and I do my best to fill in the gaps that hasn't been fulfilled yet, right? I'm not there to be, it's not like Mario Kart where I'm trying to be number one. I'm trying to be the best Mensa in the room, but and also with regards to helping the whole party as a whole elevate. So I think that's where I'm at in this day and age, where I'm just like, you talk about listening, I talk about listening, I'm just trying to listen what hasn't been played yet and see if that can get representation, if that would be my contribution of sorts to the party kind of thing. You know, other than that, I'm just trying my best to get gigs for the next show. I got kids, you know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to keep these bills paid. You know,
There is that too, yes.
So that's where I'm at right now. Oh, by the way, I've opened up for Q-Tip, that was great. I've opened up for A-Track, he was great. Gil Armstrong, he was good. But I can go on, but, you know.
And we would listen.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's like, regardless of where you are, be it the opener, be it the headliner, just do your best with regards to bringing the most to the table and serving the people that's in front of you. And that's where the benefit arises from. You talk about dealing, you mean like the moments that you get, the lessons that you learn, the gratitude that you have for the opportunity of being there. You know, it's all because you give first, and then what you get out of it is kind of like the lesson that comes out of when you played, when you didn't play, how the crowd felt, and all that stuff. Right? So,
Yeah.
and then you take that to the next day.
I understand
Right? So
that.
that's kind of my thought process.
I love that. Oh, you guys are good. I'm learning a lot. Are we learning a lot? Woo!
We're just yapping. Four professional yappers on stage. Yap, yap, yap.
Oh, goodness. So am I. I have another question, and I'm going to pose this to Taboo first, I think. But all of you will answer this. What do you think about when you're looking to curate a night for the dancers, for the club goers? What goes into your thought process? How do you do that?
Wow. That's a really good question. Well, I personally, I'm not a dancer, but I love to dance. You know, that's the way I see it. And so I think I can see things with a dancer's mind, like much the way a dancer, like a Dale, you know, can sort of DJ with what a dancer would want in mind. And I think for me, it's just, you know, mostly also attention to detail. You know, after, you know, a lot of experience, you just sort of,
What are those details?
like floors,
Yes.
you know?
Tell me.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes, exactly. So like hardwood, prefer, you know what I mean? Something with maybe a little slide to it. You know, a place that cleans their floors properly.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
And I mean, I said before that, you know, whatever, I did the parties that, like, you know, DJs in the cities want to play, but I think also what makes my events, or has made my events somewhat different is that, you know, we will have bottle poppers, you know what I mean? And so people popping bottles over here at a club with 500 people in it, and a circle. You understand what I'm saying?
Both,
And a
yeah.
circle, right? And so I feel like that's kind of the place that I've sort of held down, you know, uniquely. So
I like that.
yeah, I mean, not so much bottle popping, you know, but you get what I'm saying.
No, I see. You're catering to two different sort of like club goers.
Right.
And it works in one
The
space.
person who wants to, you know, go out and pick up and have a good club night, and the person who wants to just throw down and sweat their problems away. I hope I serve to both. You know?
Yes. Kiki.
When I have control over it, sound, and definitely curation of who's playing, how they play, what kind of energy they bring to the table. I also always like to have diversity and queer people. I don't like going into a venue and not seeing myself or others being able to see themselves there, and I think that's really important. And I like all ages, you know, young, old, I want it all. I want it all like it's some utopian world, you know? And I want everybody to be there just for the music and to dance and to transcend and to love one another. And that's like really my go-to is just pure love and joy.
That's beautiful. I love that.
Thanks.
Damn.
I think as DJs, we're all artists, just like other people do lots of different mediums of art. We're emotional painters with sound. And so when we come, I'm thinking about everything I've gone through with different parties before the one that I'm about to currently play. And I'm collecting already data of like different sounds that people might be into and what they're about in that time frame. But then I'm also making sure that I give myself space to do things that I love within that music. So there's like a good balance of, I feel like this is what they love, I feel like this is what I love. And then there's the other section of, these are the risk taker tracks that I can put on at certain moments and hope that it sparks weirdness, you know, and have that thing where we have special nights. So, like I was saying about putting those paintings on the wall, it's like we're gonna paint, we come to the club, I never have a preconceived set up, there's never any music that I know this is what I'm gonna play after this, after this, after this, after this. It's more like, what's happening in front of me with movement, and do I need to elevate it, or do I need to bring us down, or do I need to like take us on a long journey and give everyone a break? It's like all these questions are happening, but they're happening so rapid because we're used to doing the art that we've been doing, right? And so at the end of it, I feel like, you know, you're gonna know what you did, and people are gonna let you know what you did. But at the same time, we're doing it because of them. So as much as it's kind of selfish, we're playing to you, not us. And for me, any DJ that plays for themselves, they're probably not booked that often. That's the reality of it. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
I had one more thing. I'm there to make everybody dance. It's all I want to do. I want all of us to dance together, and that is the goal, is to get us going.
Yeah.
And that gets me stoked and excited. I'm like, yeah, let's go, more. And I feel like the way the world is moving and politics, whatever's happening, will translate through my music that I choose to play. And I think it always resonates with everybody because they're feeling, you know, the same kind of things that are happening in the world.
Yeah.
You know, like sometimes it'll be a little more aggressive, or sometimes it'll be a little more funky and free, or whatever. You know, those are moments like you know, sometimes you're kind of like speaking music of what's happening in the world in a way, like all your emotions and what you're feeling on a day-to-day basis, and you're bringing everybody in that journey with you. And sometimes you gotta go real deep, and it's really fun, and it's cathartic.
Yes.
Yes.
DJ Mensa.
You know, touching on what Edson said, and I think, me personally, I think a long time ago, I made myself a promise that I was only ever gonna play rooms that were like 80% dance floor. And, you know, I've done some clubs on King Street West, and they suck because it's mostly furniture. And I'm like, I don't want to DJ the brick, right? And I said to myself, I'm gonna do rooms where I don't give a shit what the bar makes. I don't really care, you know, whatever. Just give me a room full of people, and it's gonna be me versus them. And we're gonna have a conversation. I'm gonna say stuff with music. They're gonna respond, and hopefully I say the right things. And we're gonna keep this going for 4 hours, and that's gonna be my career. And I'd like to think that this conversation has been pretty good for the longest time. And it's like, I think the four of us are all in agreement. It's like, we'd very much rather have a crowd of people where we can just kind of look at them, they look at us, and we'll just figure it out, kind of a thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking for, like, okay, how many of y'all have been to Revival? Right? Revival pretty much is like in my top 2 of venues in the city, because on the stage, it's a great view of the crowd, and it's all crowd. It's just stage all the way to the door. It is all floor, and it's all hardwood, like you mentioned, right? So many classic parties have been there, right? And I really have, my goal when it comes to it, I was like, I'm looking for this particular sway. You know what I'm saying? Like a 2-step, or whatever it is. And it doesn't matter if I'm like at an R&B tempo, or if I'm at like a dance hall tempo, or if I'm at a house tempo, or wherever I'm at. I'm looking for this particular kind of 1-2 thing. Because I know that I got the lower limbs moving, you know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much like the goal of what I'm trying to do nowadays. And it's just like, DJ is not a status symbol for me. It's very much my love language. And I'm just like, if I don't have the means in which to express it on a regular basis, then it kind of kills me, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, we talk about, like, the conversation will come up about, like, there's a lack of venues in this city. You know what I'm saying? But so God bless Revival. God bless, where else you guys DJ that we like? You know what I'm saying? Cafeteria, Standard Time. You know, I wish 90915. Little Jerry. I wish we had 100 more of these venues like we used to back in the day. Right? Now we can go talk about like City Hall and how they're giving out condom permits, like it's whatever, right? But I wish I could throw a party here, for fuck's sake. Like it's all dance floor. We could have a humongous circle, it'd be gorgeous, but that's, my agenda is just strictly dance floor. And it will be for the rest of my days, just because that's what we're in the business of. Kind of thing, right? So, and stuff like that.
Love it. We're talking dance floor and we're talking, you know, creating that vibe for that and spaces that we need for that. And I'm just thinking, when you were coming up on your, you know, creative journey, who were the crews or musicians or dancers that helped alongside you to create the vibe, that helped to bring that vibe up when you were doing your thing? I'm gonna ask you first. You got the mic. Do you want a minute?
No, that's fine. That's fine. I was a latchkey kid. I was at home all the time. I was watching Rap City when it was only on twice a week, Mondays and Thursdays. Back in '93, I had my VCR Betamax ready to tape any live performance that happened on Rap City, hosted by Oliver. And Bag of Tricks was right there, doing the goddamn thing to EPMD and to Peter Piper, and I wore that part of the tape out beyond belief. And that was kind of the impetus of like, yo, that's the type of crowd that I want to perform for. They already know how to get down, you know, whatever. Those guys are the gods to me, all right? Shout out Bag of Tricks, shout out Intricate Crew, shout out Versatile Click, shout out, you know what I mean, Back to Basics. Shout out all the dancers over there, you know what I'm saying? I love y'all. And that was, what was the question? Sorry, because
You answered it. I think you answered it.
Yes.
Just along your creative journey. I mean, that sounds more like even who influenced you to do what you do, which I'm still interested in hearing
Yeah,
too.
yeah, in the grand scheme, what's my archetypal hip hop party? It's gotta have breakdancers. It's gotta have, you know, people like bubbling in the corner. It's gotta have people singing their hearts out to R&B shit. Like, I need a bit of everyone in the dance. I really do. You talk about representation. I really do need representation of all sorts, because that's the type of set that I play. Very much a bit of this, a bit of this, different tempos, and everyone gets a little piece that they can say they walked on and said, well, meant to represent a little bit for me.
Yeah.
At the end of it all, right? So.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so shout out you guys, man. BTS. Yeah.
I'll just build on that, say, Warehouse Jacks, pick up yourself, you guys held us down so many years. No, for real. How long did we go at like Lily? Even because that's when I got on board. We went to whatever Chic Chinois, moved the party over. Exactly, that's right. That's a deep cut for you guys. Dancing on carpet. Okay, yeah, I've heard that. But yeah, Dale started at Octopus. He was gracious enough to pull me in, you know, once it moved, and you know, we tried to evolve it and did some good things, especially, you know, I think with the city, I mean, just to kind of get off of, the city used to have weeknights, you know, the city used to have hubs, you know, and that's what, you know, we sort of had at that time. We had our center, our hub, and, you know, it made the scene rich and it made it grow quickly, you know. So anyways, but yes, Warehouse Jacks, big up Supernats as well, you know, I'm kind of blanking on everybody else right now, but, you.
All my friends forever. I don't know, since I started raving. They're still here. I still hang out with them. Richard Brooks from R&B, Natalie, Ali Black, my friend Cece, those are my old school friends. All my besties, we all go out, they all support me, they all come to all my shit. All the same dancers are still there too. And all the young blood, all my queer homies, everybody. It's just, you know, we're club sluts. I don't know where I met these people and who they are, but they're all my friends.
Dale.
Little off topic, but I will answer that. I just want to give a big shout out to Tricky Morera. He's over here in the audience. I just want to say I was 15 years old going to RPM, and this was my house DJ.
Wow.
So he inspired me to do a lot of the stuff that I did, and he had this one track, Sidney Perry, You Can't Run. I still remember, and I was obsessed over it, and I was like, this is the crazy part, is that we used to be like, we'd had to wait 2 weeks to hear one song of 3 minutes. It's like I couldn't download it, I couldn't look it up anywhere. I was like, I'm gonna go to the club, I'm gonna wait. There it is! And we'd lose our minds, and we'd run and we'd grab a friend and be like, yo, you hear this shit? And we'd be like, yeah! And then that'd be the end of it until we could find it somewhere in this universe without knowing anything about it.
Wow.
So it was like amazing. It was like cool. Anyways, Tricky, big up, man. Big love, big love. Dance influencers, were a lot of b-boy crews, Bag of Tricks, Flex right here. A lot of the different b-boy crews that I was able to dance with were also just the Toronto style was outside of the box. It wasn't like traditional b-boy, and we always had a style and more flavor than the rest of the world, and sometimes we wouldn't win the battles, but we'd win the people vote. You know, and I think that's one of the things that Toronto style always had, was in that realm. Now with influencers, Bad Example crew, D4C. These were the guys that I danced with on the regular in the club, and it was cool because it was different. It was like, yeah, you guys get circles and it's cool, but when our circles happened, it was like the whole club came around going, what is happening?
Yeah.
You know, they're like, oh shit, it's YouTube. And they didn't even know it was YouTube yet. You know what I mean? And they were like, they would watch, and it was like, their energy encouraged us to do crazy things where we'd walk home and be injured for 3 weeks. You know, because it was like, I don't think I can do this, but I'm gonna do it. And you throw your body the wrong way, and it was like fun. And it was just like, that's what influenced me to push with dancing, is that the other dancers, you know, you want to make them move. You know what it feels like to dance, and you want to give that back to the people you love that you've shared dance floor with over and over again. So you just hope that you can connect, and those guys pushed me to be me as a dancer. Little off topic was like, I was a b-boy first, house dancer second, freestyler, because I was like, if I can do that and I can do that, why not do it all together, right? And then I was influenced by figure skating, tap dancing, any kind of type of movement would create a style of dance that I wanted to do. And I was very lucky to live in a time where those freedoms, and I'm glad YouTube wasn't there to influence me, because I would not be uniquely me, because I probably would have followed trend, you know, and I followed those guys. And then, you know, there's these weirdos over here in the first row that are all really good dancers. That are the guys coming up, and they're kind of like probably better than me, and I hate it. And seriously, but one more flowers I want to give up in case the question's never asked. I want to give big love to Ice Weed still, because she's taking y'all. My sister from another mister who understands the dance. Just like we all were, she's a dancer just as well. And I'm sure she's influenced by all the influence, and I'm sure she's influencing all the others to do different things as well. And I don't think we're sitting up here without her and the Warehouse Jacks. I need to let them know I love them, because they are like the fam. Warehouse Jacks, we spent too many times sweating over in different parts of the city, practicing, having fun, but mostly having life together.
Beautiful.
So I'm grateful for all that.
That's beautiful.
I love it. I should have said that. Miss Misto, I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for you. Thank you for everything.
Oh yeah.
I mean that. Planet Chango, we got all the dancers, and it's just been like a big loving ever since. And the Piston Love Tempo, thank you. Thank you for your support. I love you.
I'll continue on that. Well, first of all, thank you for having me, but also, I'll speak for all the dancers in here. You guys don't know how hard she fights for you guys. Okay? Those $10 lists, you know what I'm saying? That's a, you know, to me as a promoter, someone even coming to me and asking me that, I'm like, you want me to do what? When I have how much money and who? But when the ask comes from Sandra, you know, it's hard to say no. So big up yourself.
I don't know if Raul is here or not. Raul? Yeah. So, you know where I'm going with this. Shout out Sneaky D's on a Wednesday night. If it wasn't for Moonrunners in that, those first few years, it really wouldn't have been the type of spot that it would have been. And we talk about this. We talk about how you need an advocate for the dancers, right? And it's like to have that representation of the dancers there, to kind of be that spectacle. It really does add to the textures of the whole scene as a whole. And so I want to salute Moonrunners and any iterations that you guys are on right now. Any of y'all dancers that are still just doing your thing in the corner, it really is appreciated by me at the very least, because I'm just like, Yeah. We can have the people that are wearing like designer stuff, blah blah blah, and buying drinks, buying bottles, and all that stuff. I'm here to see people move. Hello. Dance is gone. But no, I once again, I appreciate y'all presence, and I'm glad that you guys are here to hear me yap alongside my compatriots here. You know what I'm saying? So, big up yourself.
I feel like this conversation could go on and on and on. Like, I just know that there's so much more that you all want to share. But I want to open this up to the audience for some questions. So if anybody has anything that they'd like to ask the panelists here, just raise your hand and, yeah.
Dale, what were you going to say? You were going to say
I didn't know Raul was sitting back there. But back in Montreal, there was a battle that me and him teamed up to do, but he wasn't the Raul we know now. And I just wish that we could revisit that with my younger self and his current self. I feel like Toronto would have won a little bit more battles than we did. So I give you love.
Hey guys, thank you for all this. The question I wanted to ask is, what are some principles you follow as DJs and artists? What are some principles that you follow as DJs and artists?
Well, I said love and joy. Always lead with your heart. Know that it's us together. Yeah, it's definitely not you as a DJ. I don't believe in those big stages and the fireworks and all that shit. It's us together, and without you, there would be no me. And when we are having fun together and everybody's having the best time, it's because we're doing this together. And that's, I think that's the number one thing. And you have to be obsessed with music and totally, like, obsessed. Like, you have to be a little bit crazy with music. Like, a lot of it. You know, every format, all the stuff. And I think those are my main things. You just have to be obsessed, love music, practice all the time. Always practice, always know your shit, always get new music. And yeah, and bond with the crowd. That's the big thing.
Be respectful to everyone that's put the energy behind you. I think that when you get hired as a DJ in any event or you're doing this, if someone says, hey, I want you on the bill, first of all, be respectful, and then at the end of it, make sure you let them know how much you love them and thank you for having me. I think those things are huge with building relationships, and I think that goes for anything we do in this world. You gotta be respectful and just respect like the hard work they're putting in just to show love to you so that you get to shine even when they're in the background, but they're like just as important or if not more important than any of the DJs. The organizers do so much, they go through so much stress, they have to deal with the money, they have to deal with all the stuff, they have to deal with the divas of DJs and egos that do happen in the industry. So like sometimes I'll be like, yo, I don't want to play first, I want to play at the prime time. Why are you not letting me play, right? And then, you know, they have to make those decisions, and those are hard decisions. So at the end of the day, just come with respect, come with love, and hopefully, you know, you leave grateful for the opportunity you had. And those are the principles I lead with always for every single gig that I play.
Real quick, I guess one of my principles is that, you know, the vibes don't start with the music or the DJ or whatever. You weave those early on. You weave those when you walk in the door and say your hellos to whoever's at the bar, the security, how you greet, you know, the owner, how you greet each other, whoever's in your crew when you come in. Are you happy to see one another genuinely? Because that is what spreads. That's what, you know, when you start with that as your base, right? What grows from that in the course of a night, in the course of 4 hours, 5 hours, that's where the magic is, I think.
I definitely agree with what Dale said. When I first started out, I definitely worked with a lot of people that were on some very much grassroots, very much we're doing this for the culture, we're doing this for the underground, quote unquote. And we were doing a lot of parties just for the sake of, hey, we came up with this crazy idea, let's see if we can pull it off. And whether or not we make money from it, that's kind of a non-factor kind of thing. But the lessons that we learned from it will be the more valuable things. And I've taken those lessons and I've applied it to my craft for the past 20 years. I've been lucky enough to be a full-time DJ in this city for 18 years and counting, right? I'm married with 2 kids. I did not expect to be in this position where I can support a family. My wife works as well. Shout out my wife. Shout out all the wives. A lot of it is good manners. A lot of it is coming to do your set on time. A lot of it is not hogging the tables and knowing when to get off when it's your time. It's being comfortable with being assigned whatever part of the lineup you are. Be it, I'm comfortable with being warm-up as I am being with prime time, as I am being with garbage time, while people are leaving at 2:30 in the morning. I don't care. You put me on the bill, I'm ready to go. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of, you roll with the punches more than anything else. Does anyone here watch Game of Thrones? My favorite character is Varys, okay? Varys is like, he works part of like whatever. He's a bald dude, my favorite line from that show is, I serve the realm, all right? I serve the realm. So I serve the community of music lovers in the room, be it the dancers, be it, people celebrating a birthday, be it the promoters, all that stuff, be it the other DJs. I serve the realm. Anything I can do to help the experience elevate itself as a whole, I'm there to contribute to it. I give more than I get. And I think that's where my longevity comes from. Because it's like, you gotta be able to kind of like give more of yourself and be able to just accept what comes to you as a thing. And it's been great because you connect with amazing people like this, like-minded people who find their tribe in this city. Over not even just the generation that you grew up with, but with younger cats as well. If you don't learn how to connect with younger kids, with younger generations, and bestow wisdom that we grew up on to them, then this whole thing kind of gets lost in the sauce. And you know what I mean? And they're not fighting the fight that we want them to fight. This just becomes a city of conquerors. You know what I'm saying? We gotta keep fighting for spaces that we can express ourselves in, right? We have to keep fighting for us just to express ourselves. Be it a gymnasium, be it, a soundstage, like this cool soundstage, you know what I'm saying? Like, we all strove to be on TV and shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, we all wanted to be on Much Music. That doesn't exist anymore. Now we're starting to be on Boiler Room. It starts in the community first, and, miss me with all that stuff. I don't want to be in front of the camera, I just want to serve the people in front. So that's that stuff.
Hey, what up? Hey. I just had a question about, I'm just curious, especially in like a post-lockdown time, I want to know what your experiences are in curating spaces now, especially as the vibe has changed a lot. We're in a quote-unquote new normal, whatever that means. And, the energy has shifted from what 2019 was into where we are now, and I'm sure as curators of spaces, the kinds of music you have to select to ease people in, or the sensitivities of all that, it's a pretty big role, and like, we don't thank you enough. I've been at all your parties for different years, so I'm just curious about what is that experience like for you all right now, in terms of how is it to guide a space, how is it to select for a space, because it's not the same as it was before, right? So where are things now, and what's reading the room like now?
Well, number one, things are just more expensive, costly. The prices of, for everything, for all parts of production, have gone through the roof. The deals are worse that you're getting from owners. There's more competition. Things have shifted from daytime, from nighttime on Saturdays to now a lot of daytime Sunday stuff, especially in the summer. mean, how is it different for me exactly? I think it's more just about the costs and everything that I kind of built in. It's just a little bit more challenging now in that sense. But you know, it's given different opportunities as well. It was a fresh start in a sense, you know. And you had people who were rabid to get back to it, you know, once it started. So, you know, if you were around and if you had something, you know, something maybe going or set up, it probably might have caught fire a little bit quicker at that time. And I mean, coming out of the pandemic, really the only goal I had and my partner Rick for CNG had in particular on this party, on that event, was that we need to repair everything that's gone on between us. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to put everybody in the same space and know that, you know, not only are you physically safe, you know, but you can feel safe mentally and you can sort of let go again. And so it was difficult. It was actually difficult, very difficult to create what we thought were places where people would feel safe doing that. And yeah, so it's definitely been a challenge, but you know, the last year or two, I feel like we're all kind of, you know, past the sort of the clinical stuff around it, you know what I mean? Yeah, now we're just kind of back at it.
Gotta keep it political right now, I think, too. I think it's important to, you know, keep these vibes alive. Community is number one. I wouldn't be here without community. I think like those little tiny micro communities that were starting to pop up in COVID are kind of shining a light on where we're heading in this world. And all I want to do is build my community. And I love all of you for coming out and supporting me and being on the same wavelength, just spreading love and joy. And I think, yeah, being political, not being subservient to shit, and being you, being like authentically, I know it sounds corny, yourself. Be radical, be you, and go out there and say, fuck you, this is me, let's go, let's have fun, let's dance.
I think I had a weird pandemic compared to some other people. I almost quit DJing altogether. I was kind of like, things are not going to be the same. Everything was kind of going a little bit interesting at one point before the pandemic. Then pandemic happened and we had, as a DJ, I was hustling a lot. I was doing a lot of gigs I didn't like. I was doing things for the money versus doing things from what I started being a DJ for, was the passion of music and driving a dance floor. And so, if I can just say to you, you and your family gave me a lot of life during the pandemic with we had a thing called Monday Melt, and DC, your brother, and your sister, you guys were in the chat on the regular, but we got to team up and do a Monday thing on Twitch. Twitch was a big thing for DJing in the pandemic, and it was so weird to DJ for a no dance floor, because as a dance floor DJ, you're like, who am I DJing to? A screen and like a bunch of words going, right? And like, oh shoot, I like that emoji, it says boom, right? And what? So it was really confusing for my emotional state, and as we got out of it, Edson was like, we're coming back, we're gonna kill it, we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it. And he was very encouraging and very like, open-minded like that, but then there was another part of me that was like, I don't want to go back into the hustle, so I went and got a job, and now I work with that guy, which is very good. So I work full-time. I don't DJ the full-time that my friend Menz is still doing, which I commend you for. I think that's amazing. It's really hard to do that in the city. And now I get to DJ my passion gigs again, and I'm just doing the things that I love. I'm not being forced to DJ just to make my ends meet, which would be tough, I think, for house music right now in this city. It's a little different if you're playing a lot of the club stuff. You can get away with getting venues that pay a little bit more. But when it comes down to the house music, it's always been a little different. A lot of us are not drinkers. A lot of us are not people who are going to go support the club because we just want to get down. We want to feel music and have fun. We're not there to like be bougie and buy a bottle. Like, I don't need a bottle. I want to dance. That bottle's going to screw up my whole moves. I'm trying to have space. I need space, right? So it's a different environment. So now that I get to play the dance floor and not play the bar, I think I'm way more happy. I'd rather take 4 gigs a year than take 30 gigs and hate my life. So very big change for the pandemic. And I'm glad we have good parties again.
Dale, let me know about those other 26 other gigs that are I think a lot of adjusting to pandemic, post-pandemic was seeing which demographics were still in it post-pandemic and stuff. And it's like, you know, you talk about a need to dance and stuff, and I think, present company excluded, but I'm just talking about in the abstract here. Folks that are closer to like my age, like in their 40s, they still have like this kind of need to listen to loud music coming out of speakers and congregating like they did 20 years ago when they were out clubbing on a frequent basis and stuff, right? You know what I'm talking about. And yeah, and like I would have gigs where I would DJ for younger folks, and I think there was like a bit of a stopgap because of the pandemic. People got more addicted to TikTok, Instagram, PlayStation, social media and stuff, versus more tangible socializing like this. And congregate, you know, the most important thing was just to meet up. People didn't want to have to meet up. They would like, you could spend a Friday or Saturday night just lying on your bed, just scrolling on social media, and you really could get, you know, your entertainment out of that. Whereas we had to do the journey downtown, or to North York, or to some sketchy warehouse, or to, you know what I mean? We had to seek out our pleasure. So now, like, there's no young generation of kids that are kind of coming up behind me that I know of, that are really kind of like carrying the torch. And it's a bit of a shame because again, present company excluded, but the vast majority of kids, like everyone used to go clubbing. Like now it's like maybe the minority of people that go out, seek out that music that we used to seek out. So now as a DJ, as a working DJ, I have to kind of pivot and find the gigs where it's more people that would be more responsive to the music. You know what I'm saying? And I guess that kind of distills it more to the pure music lovers. Now the present company is included because you guys know what's up. But you can't just be like throw a rock and find a nightclub to DJ at. That doesn't exist anymore. That scene doesn't exist anymore. You really have to curate your own. You have to create, you have to build it, and then they will come kind of a thing. But that doesn't happen en masse like it used to. You know what I'm saying? So that's the difference I've noticed post-pandemic.
You touched on age groups, you know what I mean, like sort of the vast, like the range of age groups in events now, and Kiki touched on it as well earlier. And I think that's very much a West Indian influence. You know, you go to events in the West Indies and you have people 17 to 70 years old, all in the same event, you know what I mean? All listening to the same music, old music, new music, whatever the case is. And I feel like, you know, the days of the old man in the club, those are over. You know what I'm saying? At least, that don't, to me, it doesn't apply because I look at it from a West Indian point of view, which is holistic, right? Yeah. The same thing that I get from, you know, the same benefits that I get from partying at 30, 40, the real core stuff, I get at 60 and 72, you know? So anyways, and for me, that's like kind of the Shangri-La, you know, like I want to get to that point when I have 17 to 70, you know? So still working with it.
I have a question.
I'm sorry, my apologies. The old guy in the club trope. It's fine if they're enjoying the music, but if they're creeping on girls that are in their 20s, that's where the line is crossed. I just wanted to make that asterisk. Someone had a question.
Yeah, I had a question. As the panel of you're all OG DJs, and I was just curious. Back in the day when you had to carry around your crates of vinyl and stuff like that, do you miss it nowadays, or do you feel like the technology is?
I'm such on a record kick right now. So I've been doing this party called All Vinyl Everything. I've been doing it for the past 15 years. I'm a hoarder. I never sold off any of my records when Serato came into the scene. I keep everything. So all of my club crates of records, they were still sitting there whilst I was building my digital library. And a challenge was posed by my guy, Mr. James. It's like, what if we brought our records to the club one time? We did this in 2011, right? And we did it, and it broke our backs, but it was such a spectacle, right? So it was great. It was a good a good exercise to. It's like a muscle. It's like we haven't used the muscle of putting the needle on the record in the middle of the club, and it made us sweat. We were drenched because we were like so nervous that the needle was going to skip, but it was addictive. So we kept that party going. My guy DJ Agile joined us, and we've done this party for now close to 15 years. Right? The next party is this Sunday at the Drake Hotel. Shameless plug. But I'm still an avid collector. I still go to play the record on Spadina. I still look for records. They're cheaper than they've ever been now. So I might as well buy back my childhood at all the record stores and stuff. And it's fun. It's kind of a different sensation than playing digitally, right? So it's kind of my way of reconnecting with the source. You know what I'm saying? Reconnecting with how I started. Reconnecting with how my OGs were DJing back in the day too, right? So one of my core memories of shopping at Play the Record was watching this guy dig for records. Watching this guy dig for records. Give it up for Dylan. No, I'm saying when we were all on Young Street shopping for records and Play the Record and stuff. And I knew you to be a dancer, but I started seeing you on a more regular basis on Thursdays shopping. And I'm like, this guy's a multidisciplinary. You know what I'm saying? Like, this guy's DJing too, and I was like, I couldn't make the mental bridge. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, he's blossomed to be an amazing selector, based on his mentality that dancers make great DJs, and that's absolutely true. You know what I'm saying? So I got 2 left feet, but he's a great dancer. But yeah, if you still have the means, buy more records as much as possible. Buy as much physical media as you possibly can. Even if that means downloading MP3s, buy that shit, because streaming is whack. So, yeah.
Beautiful. There's one more question I heard. I see a hand.
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
Shout, you think you're in the distance?
Yeah, I want to say I've been to every one of your parties. Maybe not every one of them, but I've been at parties where all of you guys have been doing your thing.
Thank you.
It was always a good vibe. But my question is specifically for Dirty Dale. Given that you're a DJ, you know me, you and I have been in freestyle circles up to our necks. They're both creative outlets, but between DJing and dancing, what is a better outlet for you?
All right. Thanks, Mike. You're so special. And I do thank you for all the circles we've shared moves back and forth, and we all know about this one. We all know about she made a good point. I do dance a lot when I do DJ, so I kind of get into both. I'm stealing both of each world. No, I'm gonna get to it. They're different. When I DJ, I get a high that's like kind of like out of this world, because I think everyone in this world, to be really honest, enjoys the power of getting great attention and getting energy thrown back at you that you're throwing forward, and that exchange is beautiful. It's phenomenal. Like, I wish it was a drug and I could just eat it, then I wouldn't have to DJ again in my life. It would be incredible. As for dancing, it's so like particular. If the DJ is great, then I know I'm gonna have a great dance night. And if I have a great dance night and I wake up the next day and I can't get out of bed, I love that. Like, even though it's like painful, it's the most amazing experience. So, man, I don't know if one wins over the other, but if I'm gonna pick, I usually feel better getting out of bed after DJing. Yeah. But that's just as a moment.
I want to throw the mic to Sandra.
Hello. I'm back here. Hi. First of all, thank you so much for agreeing to yap for us and sharing your stories. One last question is, when is the next party? And where to?
Shango, Lady Monix, August 23rd, cafeteria. Big up. Big up Detroit.
This Sunday, this Sunday I have kind of like a fete meets, like chilling and grilling essentially. And then, so it's this Sunday at Stack Market, and then the following Sunday at Stack Market we go every week. We got this brother over here's birthday going down. So we do Calypso this week, and then we're going hard on house and underground vibes the following week. 3rd or 4th year now that we've done your birthday and done this together. So, it's great to give my brother his flowers and, do it like we used to do back in the day.
All vinyl everything inside the Drake Hotel, right across the street on Sunday after chilling and grilling, starting at 10 o'clock. DJ Agile, Mr. Jigs, and myself, Mensa, and just follow me on IG for more stories and more events and all that good stuff, right? Dale?
I'm DJing this weird place, Cypher Playground. I don't know, it's like a house dance battle that's happening on Saturday. We'll see how that goes. After that, I'm doing the Chillin' and Grillin' with my boy Taboo, which is going to be amazing. It's going to be the birthday jam. And then just follow, I guess, if you guys have the opportunity to follow all of our IGs, I think that would be we'd be grateful. And if you're really interested, come see us. We would love to see you.
DM for promo codes and for dance discounts. No, seriously, all you dancers, DM me if you want to come to my parties. I'll make you your own promo code and give you guesses.
Thank you guys so much. This has been an amazing panel discussion. I've learned a lot about all of you. I'm sure we all have. Thank you for sharing your experiences. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. And thank you so much for what you have given and continue to give to the Toronto clubbing scene. Thank you. Thank you, DJ Mensa, Taboo, Keeping the Free, DJ Dirty Dale. Thank you, Cypher Playground, for having me facilitate this conversation as well. Thank you for everyone that's here, sitting here, and we just appreciate all of you. Woo! We're gonna listen to some good tunes now. I hope you guys are ready to dance. I think there might be some dancing happening. DJ B-Bad, let's go!
So we'll take a quick 5-10 minute break, enjoy some tunes, come right back because we're going to go right into the film screening.
Thank you, Sasha. Wonderful job.